Overall, I think the school board has done a really good job. They were dealt an impossible hand. It's impossible to please everybody in this particular situation. I think they've done a pretty good job. I would have pushed for a sooner fully in-seat return. I think we should have been there a few months ago. Hindsight, now we know that that would have been safe and we would have been totally okay. So I would have advocated for that if I were on the board, but I think overall they've done a pretty good job. The virtual learning has been very challenging for our students and our teachers. We have some amazing teachers in our school district, and they've done a really good job with what was a very, very difficult situation. I don't have any problem with CPS's current curriculum on history. I do think it's important that we elevate Black and Indigenous voices. There's an old saying that history is told by the victors, and our version of history, by and large, is very white. It's very Eurocentric. So I do think we need to elevate certain voices. However, I would say I think any view of history that centers critical race theory as the lens by which we should see the world is a little bit troubling. Critical race theory, by its definition, divides people into many groups and assigns moral goodness or badness to them based on sometimes characteristics that they can't help. And I think that divides us more than it unifies us. And I think that we've made a lot of progress in the last few years. And I think that would set us back if we chose to center critical race theory as the lens to see the world. Absolutely. I think the answer is yes. These IEP meetings, my wife is a special educator in CPS, and so I have some inside knowledge on what these can be like. There's a lot of legal jargon and acronyms thrown around, and these can be very intimidating environments for some parents. And I think the ability to go back later and be able to listen to that a number of times is very helpful. I think we're headed in that direction anyway, both because of the state legislator and CPS's policy. I think we should get there as quickly as possible. Statistically speaking, how a child enters kindergarten is the best indicator of how they will graduate high school. So many of the efforts that we have in place are not as effective as I think our best use of funds would be pre-K education. And we are doing a lot in that regard. The biggest issue is how do you fund it? And so I think we're going to get most bang for our buck by really beefing up our pre-K education and students entering kindergarten with more of a level playing field.